When I was in college, still full of energy's mom and dad gave me a younger brother. He looked just like me. My younger brother's grades were at the bottom of the list, so he didn't dare to call out to mom and dad, but called me directly to the school. Mom, this is my homeroom teacher. My brother honestly took me by the scruff of the neck. I, however, felt the cool eyes of the man across from me. I greeted him stiffly. Hi. What a coincidence. It's not a coincidence at all. I didn't realize you had such a big son 3 years after we parted ways. Roses symbolizing romance. The romance is endless. Be sure to like, comment, forward, follow, turn on the little bell. Beautiful drama on Time to Embrace. When I went to college, my parents gave me a promotion gift. A freshly minted brother. Watching my mom sheepishly hide in my dad's arms, I gave a thumbs up in admiration. Dad, you're awesome. The bottom line is that my brother looks so much like me. Flipping out my old photos and comparing them to him. It's like a carbon copy. My mom hugged my brother with a smug look on her face. Our family has such excellent genes. It would be a waste if we don't create 2 more. Look at this little face. How many girls' hearts will be seduced by him in the future? I really don't want to hit my mom. But as my mom's big number, I've only been in love once in my life. Are you sure this backup project can be practiced as a heartthrob? Anyway, 3 years after I graduated from college and worked, my brother successfully entered the 2nd grade. My brother was a challenge from heaven. Since he was a kid, he climbed trees and dipped into the water to dig out birds' eggs. After school, he was always at the bottom of the grade, and he didn't dare to tell his parents about it. Every time, I can only make my long-suffering sister go to the office to be scolded by the teacher. This semester, my brother got a new teacher. As the midterm exam results came down, I was invited to have tea again. Inside the office, my brother was honestly pulling on my coat to greet the man in front of him. Mr. Jiang. My mom is here. Mom, this is my homeroom teacher. Mr. Jiang. I was about to say hello, but the words were swallowed in my throat. When I met the man's cool gaze, I was hardened, and my words took a turn for the worse. Hi. What a coincidence. It's not a coincidence at all. I didn't realize you had such a big son 3 years after we broke up. My brother stared up at me with a shocked look on his face. And at the moment, both of us siblings mentally shouted the words. It's over. Half an hour later, my mom came and looked at my brother with a sneer and went into the office to talk. Later that night, my brother received a couple's double scolding. I received a friend verification request from my ex-boyfriend of 3 years apart, Jason Jiang. Since I was in college, I have noticed this unattainable person. I've been chasing him for a year, and to this day, I'm still on the school's dog-licking list. But in the end, I really got this unattainable person. And also talked about 3 years of love. Only when everyone thought graduation Jason Jiang was going to propose to me. I broke up with him and dumped him. Jason Jiang was sad and went to the United States to study. I became a campus legend. You left your water cup in the office. Jason Jiang sent me a picture. I suddenly remembered that when my brother was being chased and beaten by my mom today, he was hiding behind me. I was so busy trying to talk him out of it that I left my glass of water in his office. Please pass it on to my brother for me tomorrow and ask him to bring it back to me. The other end replied in seconds. No. You come to get it yourself. It's what I gave you in the first place. This water cup is still a gift from Jason Jiang. And I've been treasuring it for a long time. It's over. The image of a scummy girl that was left behind when we broke up has now been shattered. The next day I came to school. Jason Jiang was sitting in the office. He was wearing a simple white shirt, sitting in front of the window, his long fingers holding a pen looking like he was grading homework. When I first met Jason Jiang, he sat quietly like this, but attracted everyone's attention. Sister, what are you standing here for? As I was watching, there was a sudden movement behind me. Jason Jiang looked up when he heard the sound. And my brother was surrounded by several girls looking at me curiously. Did Mr. Jiang ask you to come here to discipline me again? It seems that my brother is well aware of his mischievous attributes. Jason Jiang had just walked out. And before I could say anything, a few girls had already surrounded me. Mr. Jiang, Ethan Song is being a hooligan. I stared at my 7-year-old brother with wide eyes. Is he really a heartthrob? Ethan Song jumped to his feet. No. I didn't. I'm just saying. A few of the younger girls on the side bit the bullet. He's just being a hooligan. He said he wants to marry us in the future. A few girls stood aggrieved. And I felt I had to say something to appear that I wasn't a sister who couldn't tell right from wrong. Ethan Song. How can you be like this? You're a student now. Your main task is to study. You can't focus on things like talking about love. Jason Jiang stood behind me and laughed softly. And I snapped out of it, remembering that someone had once said that to me as well. Stella Song. You're a student. You should focus on your studies. Don't always think about falling in love. But it's college now. What a shame not to fall in love. Darn. I can't believe I'm telling my brother what Jason Jiang said to me in front of him. You're really two siblings. Jason Jiang commented. Comforted the little girl. And sent the guys away. My brother and I stood by. Equally timid. Jason Jiang walked into the office. Handed me a glass of water. And grabbed his own briefcase. Let's go. I'll buy you dinner to catch up. If we had heard the word dinner in the past, my brother and I would have jumped 3 feet. However, my brother and I were as quiet as chickens in front of Jason Jiang. Especially my brother. He only dared to eat the food in front of him with his chopsticks. Maybe it was because I was the one who initiated the breakup. And Jason Jiang was reportedly seen going into a jewelry store and buying a ring with the intention of proposing to me. As a result, I dumped him. So that now looking at Jason Jiang, my heart is full of guilt. So, how are you doing in the US? Not bad. Busy studying every day. After all, there is no one pestering me to fall in love. I buried my head into the bowl. Did not dare to speak. Luckily Jason Jiang did not talk about himself anymore, but talked about Ethan Song's study. My brother cried with a resigned face looking at me. I'm sorry, brother. For the sake of my sister not being so embarrassed, I can only condemn you. After the meal, I refused Jason Jiang's request to take us home. I decided to take the subway back. My brother dragged me along and ran faster than a rabbit. When we got on the subway, we grabbed the handrail and gasped for breath. Sis, is Mr. Jiang really your ex-boyfriend? I nodded my head. Then Mr. Jiang likes you a lot. Did he listen to you in the past? I thought back carefully. I should have liked him before. As for listening to me and everything, it seemed to be true. Seeing me nodding, my brother got even more excited. That's great. Why don't you and Mr. Jiang get back together? I looked at my brother with wide eyes, not daring to imagine how a 7-year-old could say such words. People around me were giving me strange looks, and I instantly felt that I took the wrong subway today. Really? So that if Mr. Jiang treats me badly in the future, I can come to you to complain. What's wrong with him? He always calls me up to answer questions. And he checks my homework very carefully. I was silent for a long time. And then I spent the rest of the way explaining to him that it was a sign that the teacher was paying attention to him. No. You're not. Are you going to help me or not? Am I not your brother? No. You're my grudge. I thought about it for a while. But I told him briefly about how Jason Jiang and I fell in love. After that, Ethan Song didn't say anything until he was out of the subway. Then he suddenly yelled. Mr. Jiang doesn't like me because you dumped him. Well, that was a waste of time. This kid is out of his mind. When I got home, my brother's eyes were red and he threw down his bag and rushed into his room to start sobbing. What's wrong? Aren't you usually happy when your sister picks you up? My mom walked into the room with a puzzled look on her face. And before long I could hear bawling inside. Mom? Now I know what it means to have a family of 9. Luckily, his sadness only lasted 3 days. 3 days later he came home with a workbook with a thumb drawn on it, happily showing off today's reward. Mr. Jiang said I've been doing well on my homework lately. So he drew it for me. My brother brought it over to show off. But I was lost in thought as I looked at the thumbs up on it. I taught Jason Jiang how to draw this simple sketch. At that time, we were sitting together in the library to study. But I couldn't keep up with the thinking of the university bully. And I started to get sleepy after reading for a while. In order not to drip saliva on the book, I could only divert my attention. So I drew a point-and-click sketch on his sketchbook. Don't scribble on my sketchbook. Receiving a warning, I gave him a disgruntled glare. I'm teaching you. You can reward kids like this when you teach in the future. Jason Jiang laughed softly and didn't say anything, letting me draw thumbs all over his book. So he's already learned. I handed the book back to my brother, and he looked at me with open eyes. Sis, why don't you stay with Mr. Jiang? You don't have a boyfriend anyway. A lot of female teachers in our school like Mr. Jiang. How do you know that? Everyone knows that the English teacher blushes every time she talks about Mr. Jiang. My brother looked pleased with himself. But I still hope that Mr. Jiang can be with you. If people ask, Mr. Jiang is my future brother-in-law. He'll have a lot of face. I covered his mouth and urged him to hurry up and do his homework. After that, my brother didn't mention it again, and I thought he had forgotten about it. Unexpectedly, a week later, I suddenly received a message from Jason Jiang. Ethan Song said you haven't been in love because you've been waiting for me all these years? It's true that rumor mongering is a mouthful, and disproving rumors is a leg up. When I got home, I immediately punched my brother in the face, and he covered the back of his head and shouted. That's why you haven't fallen in love. Isn't it because you're waiting for Mr. Jiang? I suddenly choked. If I denied it, wouldn't it expose the fact that I've been unattractive all these years? Sis, please marry Mr. Jiang. He will be very happy to know that you are not in love. How do you know he's especially happy? Are you a worm in his stomach? He snorted coldly and turned his head to the side. I just know. He showed us a movie this afternoon. He doesn't usually show movies. Was it the one about protecting your teeth? How do you know? I was so angry I took several deep breaths before I could keep it together. Because today is National Dental Care Day. I'm really impressed with this brain. My brother was still stubborn and kept on talking about it. At night, I was lying on my bed, and my cell phone screen was still stuck on Jason Jiang's message. After thinking about it for a while, I replied, no. There are a few people chasing after me, but I haven't picked the right one yet. After sending the message successfully, I threw my phone aside and received a message 3 seconds later. You haven't met anyone more suitable than me? It's all over. I'm sure the environment in the US has changed people. The unattainable person back then can now play straight ball. I thought you were waiting for me. After all, you were the one who said you'd love me forever. I looked at Jason Jiang's message with mixed feelings. It's been a few years, so consider me an empty promises. I'm serious. Very well. 4 words that made me lose sleep for a night. The next day I went to work with dark circles under my eyes. And my coworkers who passed by my workstation were shocked. There are no projects lately, ah. Why did you stay up so late like this? It can't be for a man. I barely managed to squeeze out a smile. My coworker patted me on the shoulder with a look of I understand. You have to choose carefully in this matter of feelings. Listen to my sister's advice. Choose one who loves you more than you love. For example, Xiao Tian, who has been chasing you the other day. He said, I suspected that my colleague might have received matchmaking money. So much so that she tried her best to set me up with a colleague from the technical department. I had just politely declined. When that colleague from the technical department came up to me. Xingyu, are you busy today? Can we have dinner together after work? It was said that this colleague was also a returnee. Although he was from the technical department, He didn't look like a programmer at all. He usually wears a suit and gold glasses, revealing an elegant temperament. I saw your friend's circle last time that you wanted to eat barbecue. It just so happens that there is a new one opened around. I was all set to refuse. But the moment I heard barbecue, I hesitated. It's just a meal. And I'd love to hit it up. So let's just go together as a meal partner. Okay? After all was said and done, it didn't seem like a good idea not to go. So after work, I went to the restaurant with him. The barbecue place was smoky. And I was eating without a care in the world. Starry Moon. I've always wanted to ask you what kind of person you like. Jason Jiang's face instantly appeared in my mind. Someone as unattainable as the moonlight in the sky. Gentle and cool. The first time I saw it, my heart would pound. Actually, I have someone I like. Although I don't want to admit it. Jason Jiang is really the white moonlight in my heart. My coworker was silent for a long time. And finally smiled bitterly and greeted me with meat. After dinner, it was almost dark and my coworker offered to take me home. Just before I refused, someone behind me called my name. I turned around and looked. My brother was holding Jason Jiang's hand. And both of them had the same gloomy look on their faces. Didn't you say you'd pick me up today? Darn. I forgot. When we got home, my brother just threw his school bag and went back to his room to commiserate. Why are you siblings always in a cold war lately? I scratched my head in embarrassment. It's true that I'm at fault for this. I promised to pick him up from school today. But I was busy and forgot. My brother followed Jason Jiang and waited for 2 hours at the school. Finally, I decided to send him home. And just after crossing a street, I saw me coming out of the barbecue restaurant. After coaxing my brother, I remembered to send Jason Jiang a message. Thank you for today. I was so busy I forgot. I was busy having dinner with another man. Jason Jiang's reply was hard not to remind me of his expression just now. He had a gloomy face. And his eyes were eager to stare a hole in his coworker's body. It wasn't until my brother shouted that Jason Jiang had squeezed his hand painfully that he suddenly reacted. It's a coworker. I have a bit of a work-related matter I want to seek his help. I don't know why I gave Jason Jiang a superfluous explanation. I always have the feeling of adding to the problem. After washing up and lying on the bed, I received a message from Jason Jiang. Whatever. That's your business. It has nothing to do with me. That's right. Now that we've broken up, he doesn't care who I have dinner with. But this sentence managed to make me lose sleep for a whole night. In the days that followed, Jason Jiang never contacted me again. And my coworkers went after other girls. So my life was quiet again. Until a month later, my brother came home with the latest monthly exam papers. The grades on it made my mom smile and rewarded my brother with 2 big chicken legs in the evening. But he didn't have the slightest smile on his face and sighed before putting the chicken legs into my bowl. Before going to bed, my brother quietly pushed open the door to my room. Sis, can you fall in love with Mr. Jiang? I really can't. My brother was on the verge of tears as he lay on my bed. Mr. Jiang checks my homework every day. And I get pulled up to answer questions in every class. I'm really tired. He said. I'm really tired. It's not good enough that your teacher pays attention to you. I was about to enlighten my brother when I realized that he had already fallen asleep from exhaustion. Was it really that hard? In the following half a month, my brother became more and more tired every day. And even fell asleep during meals. Only then did I finally realize the seriousness of the matter and decided to send a message to Jason Jiang. Mr. Jiang, Ethan Song did well this time. Thank you for your teaching. But he has recently complained that he is too tired. Can you let him relax a little bit? It's official and polite. I can't find a single thing wrong with it. I was pleased with myself. In the afternoon, I received a reply from Jason Jiang. He has great potential and should focus on his studies. I was a little angry when I saw the message. Now Ethan Song doesn't even watch TV. And when he comes home, he dives into his room to do his homework. Isn't that focused enough? I recalled carefully. It's hard to believe that it's because of the last time he saw me having dinner with my coworkers. Then are you paying such excessive attention to other students as well? Or are you upset because of what happened before? Are you questioning my teaching professionalism? No. I'm just talking about the matter. In my heart, I silently criticized Jason Jiang for being more and more petty. After that, Jason Jiang didn't reply. But when he came home from school in the evening, my brother had a bitter face. Mr. Jiang criticized me today. Why? Jason Jiang didn't give my brother small shoes. Did he? What happened to the teaching ethics he learned back then? He didn't leave it all behind in the US. Did he? I took out my cell phone and was about to ask for help when I saw a message pop up on my cell phone. It's true that he's been studying more seriously than before lately. But it's only limited to when he's in class. The rest of the time he's playing card games. And I've asked. And he's been avoiding you guys at night. It's gotten to the point where he's wasted his sleep and food. I was shocked and rushed into my brother's room. And sure enough, I found a whole set of superhero trading cards under his mattress. He had probably used all his money to buy the cards. My brother hid and pretended to be a quail. Jason Jiang sent another message. I have already told him. He is now playing cards has affected the rest. The family slightly stop. In addition, the classroom are randomly named. There is no overly concerned phenomenon. I looked at the message ashamed beyond words. I didn't realize that I am this kind of person in your heart now. This was really fucked up. I was so angry that I called my brother over and beat him up and confiscated all superhero trading cards. After that, I realized in hindsight that Jason Jiang was probably angry. He didn't reply to the apology message I sent him. In the past, he also likes not to reply when he is angry. It might be because Jason Jiang has high morals and is being questioned about his teacher ethics. So he was having a hard time. Seeing that there was no reply to the several messages I sent, I decided that I'd better go and apologize in person. Taking advantage of picking up my brother, I went to the office. Jason Jiang was still in a simple white shirt correcting homework. But the temperament killed everyone. On the way into the school, I also heard a few little girls discussing how handsome Mr. Jiang from 2nd grade class 3 was. It's true that aesthetics are cultivated from a young age these days. This feeling made me dream straight back to college. It was also when I joined a club that I happened to hear about a student who was particularly handsome. After catching a glimpse of him, I was immediately attracted to him. What do you want? I didn't panic when I was caught peeking. I'm sorry. I was in a hurry and didn't understand what was going on. I came to apologize to you. Well, I accept. So simple? I've been rehearsing for half an hour. And now I'm just saying the beginning and it's over. Let me treat you to dinner. Is it okay to apologize to you? No. I have something to do later. I gritted my teeth and was about to speak when there was a knock on the door behind me. Mr. Jiang. It's time for the meeting. It was a particularly beautiful teacher with a pair of very soulful eyes. Jason Jiang followed her out. Darn. On the way back, my brother held my hand. Did you see that? That's our English teacher. Ms. Zhang. Yes. She's very pretty. Ms. Zhang is not only pretty. She also likes Mr. Jiang. If you want to get Mr. Jiang, you have to seize the opportunity. I thought for a moment. But I crouched down to look at my brother. Mr. Jiang and I did date before. But it's over. There's no chance for us. Don't say such things in the future. It's not good to be overheard. My brother nodded his head as if he didn't understand. But why? Mr. Jiang likes you very much. Don't you like Mr. Jiang? Where on earth did you see that? I was annoyed and stood up, pulling his hand and walking quickly towards the house. My brother jogged all the way, and his mouth was still full of words. Usually when we go to the office to see Mr. Jiang, if we don't talk about our studies, he will let us play by ourselves. But the other day when I talked about you in the office, he listened for a long time, and finally asked about you. And he didn't let me go back until the class started. Does Jason Jiang still like me? This thought has been surrounding my mind for a long time. I remembered that the day we broke up was a particularly seasonal rainy day. It was even rainier than the day of the dramatic rainy scene. Jason Jiang sat across from me, and I watched him rub his fingers together because he was nervous. I said I was breaking up, and his face was filled with disbelief. It was followed by repeated questions, then an argument, and finally a parting of the ways. As he left, I noticed the small box bulging in his pocket. I cried for a long time in the restaurant, until the rain stopped and someone came over to give me a bouquet of flowers. It was ordered by Mr. Kong half a month ago, and it was supposed to be delivered at noon. But the rainstorm couldn't get through. So I'm sorry. A bouquet of delicate red roses, with a card on top, which contained only 3 simple words. Marry me. Combined with that little box, I instantly understood why Jason Jiang had arranged to eat at this restaurant half a month ago. A good proposal turned into a breakup, and I didn't even have a chance to see what the ring looked like. After that, I heard that Jason Jiang had left the country. I sat at the airport for a day, watching the airplanes take off and land, telling myself over and over again, Jason Jiang has finally left the country, and this should be his life. I thought he would stay in the US, but I didn't expect to meet him again 3 years later. After that, I never went to school to pick up my brother. After thinking for a long time, I deleted Jason Jiang's contact information. It's always upsetting to see him, so it's better not to contact him. My mom is arranging a blind date for me. My brother looked at me and finally didn't mention that name again. I don't know why, but the peach blossoms have been blooming lately. Every blind date has expressed interest in me, but they're all rotten peach blossoms, and I'm not interested in any of them. My mom broke down and asked me what kind of person I really wanted. But the thought of being with these people might lead to cold violence, domestic violence, and cheating in the future. I cringed in fear, and my mom just scolded me for worrying unnecessarily. When you were in a relationship before, did you ever think about whether he would be domestically abusive to you? I don't think I did. I was too focused on my face. I don't know what to think. It's December. On this day, my brother came home and pulled me aside. Do you really not like Mr. Jiang? I haven't heard him mention this for a long time. Today I saw Ms. Jiang buy a big bouquet of flowers, and I heard she's sending them to Mr. Jiang's house. That pretty female teacher? She's a good match for him. I didn't say anything, and I lost sleep that night. The next day, I had a high fever, and asked my boss to take a day off to sleep at home. In the evening when I was sleeping comfortably, I heard noises from next door. Although this is not the time to rest, but at least respect the neighbors. I opened the door in my pajamas, and just as the words reached my mouth, I saw the person in front of me and swallowed. The door to the opposite room was wide open, and Jason Jiang was standing in the stairwell, directing a couple of older men to move the sofa inside. Hello, neighbor. Jason Jiang actually moved in next door to me. That night, he came to my house to borrow a bottle of soy sauce. My brother was the one who reacted the most. After dinner, he knelt down in front of me with a sliding shovel. Sister, I'm begging you, stay with Mr. Jiang, or else hell be staring at me every day if he lives next door to me. I shrugged my shoulders and told him there was nothing I could do. Jason Jiang came to borrow some soy sauce today and a screwdriver tomorrow. Eventually even my mom started to mutter. Mr. Jiang is usually so meticulous. But why is he so careless in his life? I vaguely sensed that something was wrong. But Jason Jiang usually kept a strict social distance and only nodded when we met. My brother was the only one who had a bitter face every day and no longer dared to go downstairs to play with other children. As the weather got colder and colder, it was almost Christmas, and all the neighborhoods started to dress up. Although my brother's school doesn't celebrate Christmas, it was rumored that the teachers were having another get-together that day. So makeup classes were cancelled. He messaged me in the afternoon, telling me to come home early for hot pot. Near the end of the day, The company suddenly had the luxury of giving us each a flower. It was not too embarrassing for us to go home empty-handed and look at other couples. I took the flowers humming to the home. Just walked downstairs. I saw throwing garbage Jason Jiang. He is not a gathering? I said hello and was about to go upstairs when he grabbed my hand. You've been to Christmas? I was so confused by this question that I could only nod my head. It's a holiday. It's just for fun. And we're going to have hot pot later. Jason Jiang let go of my hand. His face was very pale. This person is still the same as before. Wearing clothes do not care about the temperature but only the style. I just want to remind a few words. The cell phone has already rung. Obviously my brother began to rush. Forget it. All broke up still care about these do not do. I picked up the phone and headed upstairs. On Christmas Day, my family gathered together for a hot pot dinner. And halfway through the meal, I realized that I was out of oyster sauce. I can't stand oyster sauce. So I immediately put on my shoes and went out to buy oyster sauce. Outside, there was red color everywhere. A joyful atmosphere. I carried the oyster sauce and hummed my way home. Looking up at Jason Jiang's house. It was dark. He should be out of the house by now. I sighed softly and went upstairs. Just stepping out of the elevator. I hadn't even touched my keys when suddenly a big hand wrapped around my waist and yanked me towards the stairwell. The person behind me was so strong that before I could react, I was already dragged into the dimly lit stairwell. I had just raised the oyster sauce bottle when another hand grabbed me. It's me. I heard a familiar voice and reacted. Jason Jiang. What are you doing? I was scared to death. The surroundings were dark. Jason Jiang dragged me and switched my position. I was cornered by him. The air smelled faintly of alcohol. Have you been drinking? Merry Christmas. He said something off-key. And a hand brushed his face. The coolness came from his icy fingers. I thought you were going away for Christmas. Why are you back? Let go. I can't spend it with my family. Jason Jiang's strength was so strong that I couldn't move a bit. Why did you delete my WeChat? It took him a while to realize that. I rolled my eyes. You didn't reply to my messages. So I deleted you. Anyway. Ethan Song. You can contact my mom if you need anything. Then why did you delete my WeChat 3 years ago? I sent you so many messages and you didn't reply to any of them. And then you deleted me. I immediately fell silent. It's a long time ago. What's the point of bringing it up? So you can forget all about it. The promises you made to me. The things we did together. Jason Jiang suddenly reached out and grabbed my chin, forcing me to look up and stare at him. How do you manage to be so passionate when you like someone and throw them aside without hesitation when you don't love them? Stella Song. Sometimes I really wonder if you like me or not. What are our 3 years really about? Do you really like me? Or am I just a prey for you to spice up your college life? I've never heard Jason Jiang speak with a crying voice before. As arrogant as he is, he usually carries a cool temperament. Just standing there makes people feel unable to get close to him. Speak up. You can't say a word to me now? He reached out and swept me into his arms. A familiar embrace and scent. My mind went blank and I subconsciously reached for his waist. Xingyu. Why did you do this to me? It's been 3 years. I think about it every day. What did I do wrong to make you sentence me to death without saying a word? His voice was hollow and sad in the dimly lit, deserted stairwell. I've been to church countless times, praying before God, hoping that you would forgive me for my transgressions. I've thought if only the devil really existed in the world, I could make a deal with him. I could trade everything I have in exchange. Just to be with you again. 3 years is not a long time. And listening to Jason Jiang's words brought me to tears. And how could I not feel tormented? Tell me if it's okay. Tell me what I did wrong. I'm willing to change. I can't accept you being with someone else. He tightened his grip on me and a tear dripped down my face. I'm sorry. After a long moment of silence, I only managed to hold those 3 words. I don't want to hear sorry. I just want us to start over. Jason Jiang bends down and buries his head into the crook of my neck. I feel the shiver in his body and raise my hand to pat him on the back. Good. The words came out. And I suddenly felt relieved that the big stone weighing down my heart had finally fallen to the ground. Jason Jiang looked up sharply and froze for a long time. Really? You won't leave me behind this time? Right? No. I reddened my eyes and looked at the person in front of me. I've wanted to be with you since you came back. But I was afraid that he wouldn't be able to forgive me. That I would be rejected. Just as I was when I rejected him. By the time I got home with the ratatouille, my brother's stomach was bulging with food. Sis. Why are you so late? Come on. I even left you shrimp. I was sitting at the table puffing and drying my rice when my brother suddenly stared at me. Sis. Why is your mouth swollen? I was shocked. I was too excited just now in the stairwell. I didn't restrain my force when kissing. It's nothing. The bottom of the pot is a bit spicy. I hurriedly glossed over it. When I went to bed at night, my brother suddenly rushed into my room. Sis. You're with Mr. Jiang. I was so scared that I sat up from the bed and asked him how he knew. I asked him how he knew. I saw him when I went down to play with Mr. Jiang. And he bought me food. And said that I could call him my brother when I was outside of school. I didn't realize Jason Jiang was such a big mouth. It was hard for me to send my brother to bed. But I didn't realize that my whole family knew about it the next day. My mom was staring at me as I ate my breakfast. Are you in love with Mr. Jiang across the street? Pfft. I spit out the milk in my mouth. How do you know? Your brother told me. I knew you and Mr. Jiang had a story. My mom raised her eyebrows at me. Mr. Jiang doesn't look like he's short of money. So why does he live in our old neighborhood and bother us from time to time? I buried my head in the bowl, not daring to speak. My mom was the only one who was still smugly happy. In the evening, I went to pick up my brother from home. And Jason Jiang said he wanted to come back with me. So the three of us went upstairs just as my mom bumped into us. Back. Jason Jiang is coming home for dinner later. As expected of my mom. In just 1 day's time. Her name has changed. Yes. Auntie. Jason Jiang looked like a good boy and agreed immediately. At the dinner table that night, my brother looked pained. If I had known, I wouldn't have set you up. It's so hard to have dinner with a teacher, he said. I didn't expect this to be heard by Jason Jiang, who had just finished washing the dishes. Looking at his smile, I knew my brother was finished. Under Jason Jiang's encouragement, my brother got a good grade in the final exam. But he was not happy for 2 days. Jason Jiang came to see me twice in 3 days. As my brother who does not write homework until the last day, he finally felt the oppression. As soon as the year was over, he started to throw his weight around. Sis. Move out. Don't let Mr. Jiang come again. I can't. I really can't. Only. Unfortunately. It was too late. Unsurprisingly, the next 4 years of elementary school were going to be spent under Jason Jiang's oppression. As the weather began to heat up, I ran home with my newly purchased ice cream in my arms. But I saw a familiar woman at the entrance of my neighborhood. The woman took off her sunglasses and smiled at me. Do you have time for a chat? This woman is Jason Jiang's mom. I heard that she is also the chairman of a listed company. The last time we met? Before I graduated. She came to my school to look for me. You and Jason Jiang are not suitable because he doesn't want to go abroad for graduate school. If you really love him, let go and don't hold him back. I thought Jason Jiang and I would be the hero and heroine of the story. Together against all odds. But the reality is, he could have had a better life. But he stopped because of me. I was afraid that after 20 years, our relationship would be worn out by daily chores and he would end up resenting me for tying him down. So we broke up. After we reconciled, I knew I would eventually see this guy again. Ms. Kong took me to a cafe and handed me a check straight away. You know what I mean. I smiled and accepted the check. Thank you, Auntie, for the meet and greet gift. Don't worry. It'll be good with feast. She blushed slightly. I am telling you to separate. You and Ian are not right for each other. Don't hold him back. You said this 3 years ago. We broke up. But he still came back to me 3 years later. Doesn't that tell you everything? That's because you seduced my son. MS. Ginger clenched her fists as I pushed the check back unperturbed. If you could get through Jason Jiang's mind, you certainly wouldn't have come to me. And I don't care if you don't accept me. He's the one who's having a hard time being caught in the middle anyway. Not mine. You are so different compared to 3 years ago. Hearing her words, I thought deeply. After 3 years in the society, there must be some changes. 3 years ago, you didn't mention me to Yen, which surprised me. So I told him that 3 years ago, I was the one who broke you up. And it was the first time he got so angry. MS. Kong sighed softly and pushed the check in front of me. You win. Our mother and son relationship was already bad. It can't get any worse. Keep the meet and greet. Bye. She left in a hurry with those words and I was about to leave when Jason Jiang's call came through. Where are you? Cafe. Is my mom here to see you? I'm not a coffee drinker. So Jason Jiang guessed instantly. Yes. But this time, she's willing to give us her blessing. There was a long silence on the other end of the phone. And I could only hear light breathing. Why didn't you tell me at that time? It doesn't matter. Now we're keeping the peace. I sat in the cafe for a while. And Jason Jiang arrived. He was gasping for breath and looked a bit anxious. I'm not going to run. I laughed softly and went forward to hug him. I said I won't leave you this time. He nodded without saying anything. It seems that I still have to take the initiative. I directly rummage out a small box from Jason Jiang's car and throw it in front of him. Kneel down. Jason Jiang froze slightly and asked if I really wanted to. I'll only give you 3 seconds. If you don't kneel down, I won't marry you. 1, 2. Jason Jiang immediately got down on one knee and opened the small box, revealing a delicate sapphire ring. Outside in the sunshine, many people came out for a walk. And when they saw the man kneeling on one knee in front of the cafe, they all stopped in their tracks. Unconsciously, surrounded by people. A beautifully crafted ring with a sapphire stone representing fidelity and perseverance. When did you buy that ring? He let out a soft laugh and met my gaze. Warmth in his eyes. 3 years ago. Jason Jiang Extra. March 16th. A day I remember very well. Because I think I might have fallen in love with Stella Song. From the moment she rushed up to me and added me to her Twitter account. She had intruded into my line of sight. I always followed her unconsciously. And when she came closer, I pretended to be oblivious. She was always alive and there was no shortage of laughter where she was. She says I'm too quiet and that I'm perfect for her. In that case, we should be together. March 16th. Our first day together. She leaned on my shoulder and told me I was good looking. That she liked it when I just stood there. She's quirky but knows the score. I've never felt my heart beating so visibly. As if my emotions were being pulled by her every move. Growing up with divorced parents, it seemed to me that the high spiritual pursuit of love was destined to be rare. Equally low in demand. So what if I don't fall in love? Until Stella Song broke my mind. I should say she broke me in so many ways. My bottom line has dropped again and again because of her. But every time I get angry, she's there to pout behind me. I'm trying to add fireworks to you. Aren't you tired of being a fairy every day? She was great. I felt alive with her. We've been together all through college. I think we should take our relationship further. Like getting married. Defending our love with the law. Guarding each other forever. Never leaving each other. I started planning. Choosing a diamond ring. Deciding on a venue. It was hectic. But full of happiness. I counted the days with bated breath. May 28th. A day I will never forget. The 137th day of our love. It was pouring rain. Not a good day for a proposal. But everything was ready. I took her to the restaurant. And she was a little quiet. Which gave me a bad feeling. The florist said they couldn't deliver the flowers at the moment. So I was a bit angry and planned to wait. Luckily, I had prepared jokes to amuse her. But she wasn't happy at all and broke up with me. It turns out that a joke is so powerful that it can easily break my love. I couldn't accept this reality. I asked her why. And messaged her like crazy. Until the red exclamation mark at the end finally let me understand. It was over. For a long time, I pondered what I had done wrong. I'd never done such tricky questions before. And I didn't even know where I'd gone wrong. Finally, I went abroad. All sorts of warm girls. And once someone handed me a card. She said she'd give me a taste of real hot love. But I'd already had that. The fire and ice kind. I was hooked on prayer. Because we used to worship Cupid. But he didn't bless me. I was in church. And the priest told me that being sincere enough would wash away my sins. Great. Just what I needed. But God didn't hear me either. I felt abandoned. From the moment she abandoned me. Stella's song. The liar. The professor wants me to stay here and study. But I want to go back and visit. Want to enjoy the sunshine at the same time as her. Maybe when the wind blows. It'll bring a kiss that belongs to her. There's a kid named Ethan Song in my class. Surname Song too. What a coincidence. Whenever I see something, it reminds me of her. Even if it's not even close. This kid is very naughty. But she looks similar to her. I never thought I'd see her again. I tried to restrain myself from going crazy in front of her. I've learned a lot in 3 years. Like the thumb sketches she taught me. I learned to be just like her. Like her. You want to be crazy. But you have to pretend you don't like it. Just like her. You don't like it. But you pretend to be in love with it. In 3 years, I've realized that there's nothing wrong with our relationship. There's nothing wrong with our relationship. It just simply went away. She just didn't want me anymore. But I couldn't accept that she had someone else. It made me jealous. I was jealous of the people she had dinner with. And I hated those who approached me. I don't know where Ms. Jang got my address from. But she sat at my house and wouldn't leave. I just called the police to solve the problem. And then I chose to move. I paid a high price for the house across the street. And when I saw her open the door, my mood brightened. December 25th. An equally memorable day. I went through ups and downs of emotions. I was afraid I didn't have a chance. Luckily, she didn't give up on me. April 16th. The day of the proposal. November 30th. Wedding day. I drew a circle on the calendar. And there was laughter next to me. Jason Jiang. You're so old-fashioned. Who memorizes calendars nowadays? You can't do it in your head. Of course not. What if some people don't recognize the calendar again?